Hello, and welcome to IDEA Education's overview of their new online platform powered by Campus Labs. My name is Jessica Franzak, and today I'll be walking you through the new functionality available for administrators, students, and for faculty. To begin, we'll go through the administrator tools. IDEA Education's two forms, the diagnostic form and the short form, are both available to select from and then customize according to additional questions that you may have on campus. This accommodates the 20 questions that you may have already been adding to your courses, and you can do so based on where the course belongs in an institutional area, such as a department, college, or program, or by what we call an attribute, which is a tag that may be placed on a course. A course may have multiple tags applied, and if that tag has questions applied, we would then show those questions to the students. This allows for custom questions to be added based on delivery method of a course or course type or any other variable that you have on campus. We have a really easy way to streamline the launching of your evaluations to students and to faculty. There's 3 steps that need to be set up. First, you would choose which form you would like to use, the diagnostic form or the short form. Both of these forms would bring along any customized questions that you had previously set up in the last step that I just spoke about. You would schedule the dates of when the survey is going to be available to the students. You can pre-schedule when reports will be available to faculty and administrators on campus, like deans or chairs. You can choose which course sections will be available to this particular administration. This will allow you to filter down any courses that we've loaded into the system to a subset. This can accommodate multiple sessions that you may have running on campus, such as 8-week courses or 16-week courses, as well as different types of the survey form that you'd like to use, whether it's the diagnostic form or the short form. You also can schedule your email notifications to go out to students and to faculty in the same step, and you can also schedule these at a later time. Now, after you have your administration set up, you'll be taken to a screen that looks sort of like a dashboard that would give you everything that's currently active, any evaluations that are scheduled to start in the next few weeks or days, or anything that has recently finished. This will show you response rate information, dates of when the surveys are running, and you can click on any of these different areas to view more details. If you were to open up one of those windows, you would see more detailed response rate information. You'd see the option to be able to change the dates of when surveys are going to be starting and ending. You can schedule additional email notifications to go to students and to faculty. And you can modify details about your courses, changing the faculty member, changing the enrollments, or maybe in adding a course section that you missed when you originally set the survey up. As far as emails are concerned, all emails that go out to students are considered reminder messages, so it'll only send to those who haven't completed their evaluations, and they get one email no matter how many courses that they're enrolled in. You also may send out emails to faculty to notify them about their faculty information forms, remind them to talk about evaluations in class, and then even notify them when the reports will be released to them at the end of the survey period. We'll now move on to the student experience. Students can take the evaluations from anywhere that they happen to be, whether they're on or off campus. We want to encourage faculty to offer class time and do in-class capture, just like they would have with a paper form. They can do evaluations at home or in a dorm, in a lab environment, or anywhere else they happen to be on campus. The students will receive the emails that you set up through the system. Now, these are completely customized with your text. This is a little bit of a change for those of you that have already been using the IDEA Online system. This does allow you to put in any text that you would want, and each message that you send out can be different from the last. We can customize it with the information about the person, like their name, their username, and we can automatically link in the website that they'll need to go to take their evaluations. Now, once a student gets to this website, whether they're coming in via email, a portal system that you may have in place, links or QR codes or posters or flyers that you put around campus, it'll all send them to the same location where they'll be asked to enter in their username and password information. This username and password will be the same as their campus credentials, so they should be aware of what these are since it's usually the same information that they're already using to enter for any campus email systems, portals, or other websites that you have. Once they authenticate, that's how we know which courses to then display to their record. We'll show them anything that's currently active, any surveys that may have been completed in a different session, any upcoming evaluations, or any evaluations that have recently closed. Now, if the student is accessing this on their mobile device, this new online platform is what's called a responsive website, which means that the student will just go to the website and it will reformat for the size screen that they're viewing the page on. It's compatible with iPhones, Android devices, tablets, PC, Mac, or any different device that they're using. There's not an app or anything that the student would have to download ahead of time. If the student accesses their surveys on their mobile device, they get all the same features that they would get if they were accessing this on a PC or a Mac. They'll then click on which course that they'd like to evaluate and answer all of the IDEA questions. They would see each instructor's name shown to them if the question was about a person specifically. And then for any additional questions that you may have added on to each course section, those will appear at the end of the evaluation after the diagnostic questions or the short form questions, depending on which form this particular course was using. After the student has taken all their evaluations, they'll be removed automatically from any reminders that we send out, and they won't receive another message until they have a next set of surveys that they'll have to evaluate. From a faculty member's perspective, they also have their own website that they would log in using their campus credentials and see all the courses that we have assigned to their record. They can see course details here, when surveys are starting, when they're ending, when the results will be released to them. They can see their roster, real-time response rates, which is something that we do want to encourage them to come and check and see how each one of their courses is performing. And then they also can come to the site prior to the survey opening and add custom questions. This may be if you want to allow your faculty members to add a few extra questions on in addition to the IDEA diagnostic form or short form. Or if you want them to not have access to this feature, we can disable it and they won't know that that option even exists in our platform. The other really important item that they need to do is fill out their faculty information form. Now, this faculty information form is the exact same form that they have been filling out prior, whether you're using the paper process currently or the current IDEA online system. And it just asks them to fill out which of the 12 objectives are important or essential, and they would do that for each one of their course sections. After the survey is finished, then they have the ability to come back and look at the diagnostic form. Now, we've been working with IDEA for quite some time now to upgrade the current paper format of that report to a new interactive web view. Now, most of you are probably familiar with what the paper report looks like. What I'm going to do is take you through the live site today and show you what that looks like now in the website. Okay, so I'm now going to log into the website as if I was a faculty member. And I'll see the same sort of page that I showed you a few slides ago that shows the available courses I have assigned to my record. I have some abilities to fill out a few faculty information forms. And for this course right here, I have the option to view the results. You can release the report to faculty members 48 hours after your survey closes, and they would be pushed directly to this website so they can come back here and review their data. So you can get the results back to the faculty much quicker than you may have in the past. And when I go in and I click on View Results, I'm then taken in to a new view of the data. I have a few different tabs listed across the top here. I also can see some summaries of the student enrollment and response rate information for that particular course section. The summative and the formative tabs are both idea views of the report. The summative tab is going to cover pages 1 and 2 of the traditional paper report, and the formative tab is going to be page 3. The quantitative and qualitative is what you would have traditionally seen on pages 4 and maybe 5. Any summaries about each question individually, as well as any custom questions you've added, and the summaries of the comments that the students have entered are viewed on those tabs. And then the segment comparison I'll cover in a minute. That's a report that has been available to our Campus Labs course evaluation clients that we have enabled for IDEA clients as well. Now on the summative tab, this is going to include all the same information that was included prior to using the paper report for the summary of the teaching effectiveness. Now this would include information on how the faculty member did on their selected objectives that they filled out on the faculty information form, as well as a summary of their overall ratings. Now for those of you that are familiar with the paper report, this would include everything that was on the top of page, or the bottom of page 1. So on the left you would see the progress of objectives, the overall ratings, and the summary evaluation. And then in the right side here, you would see converted scores, both raw and adjusted, for the progress on objectives, the overall ratings, and the summary evaluation. So what we've done is we've converted this information to this new screen here. So I can see the same 3 areas, which are traditionally shown on the right, of the progress and objectives, ratings, and summary, what my mean was for each one of those categories. And then at the bottom, we show the converted averages. So this would give them, if you were to take that old chart and flip it on its side, you would see this particular course's converted average was a 59, which puts them in the higher area. If they were much higher, it would show to the right. If they were similar, lower, or much lower, that would show to the left. They also can come up here to the top and toggle between adjusted and raw ratings, depending on what they prefer to look at, as well as compare themselves to the IDEA database, their discipline, if we've entered discipline information on the courses, and if your particular college or university has 400 courses in the IDEA database, you could also see yourself compared to your campus's norms. Then the faculty member can actually click on any of these boxes and go in and see more information. So now I've drilled into the relevant objectives, and I can see the objectives I've selected on my faculty information form, what the average is, my converted average, and some frequency information for each one of those objectives. I can also see an indicator here to the left that shows if that was chosen as important or essential. My selections on my drop-downs up here at the top will persist for each page. So if I really wanted to look at adjusted averages, those will stay on the page as I navigate through. If I really want to look at raw, I would stay with that. I can navigate back and look at the overall ratings. This will give me the individual ratings on the excellent teacher and excellent course questions. And then you can see the adjusted averages and converted averages at the bottom. Now at the bottom of the summary tab shows you the description of course and student section. Now this will show you all the questions about the course and the students, what the raw averages were to each one of those questions, and then the converted averages. Now on the paper report, this was the same information that showed on the bottom of page 2. So the description of course and students showed raw averages, and then the converted averages to the right-hand side. You also can go up and look at on the top of that page, the individual details on the learning objectives. And that was what was shown when I drilled in to the progress and relevant objective box. Now, if the particular course I'm looking at used the diagnostic form, I could drill into the formative tab. This was what was shown on page 3 of the paper report, which showed all the 20 teaching methods, which objectives those methods are relevant to, what the raw average was, some frequency information, and then a suggested action. We've converted that to the web, and so we show the 20 relevant objectives, a suggested action area, and then I can drill into that and see what the raw average is, frequency of responses, relevant objectives, and then some more details about that particular suggested action. One of the really great options now in this new online interface is the ability for a faculty member to navigate directly to the appropriate pod notes. So if I were to click right on this hyperlink, it will open up the Idea Education's website and take me to the relevant objective based on that particular teaching method. So right now I'm looking at the pod note for item number 4, and the faculty member can then read all the appropriate information for that particular item. This is much improved from the old paper process where the faculty member would have to go and reach out for this themselves, search for this on the Idea Center or Idea Education's website. In addition to the summative informative views, the quantitative view would show a summary of all the specific details for each question. This would include the frequency information for each question, raw means, raw standard deviations, and also it will include any additional questions that was added either on a university, college, department, or attribute level, as well as by the individual faculty member. And they can go through and review all of those results. They also can look at the qualitative tab, which would show any comments that that particular set of students had entered, in no particular order, completely de-identified from any student's identifying information. And then the last report that I wanted to talk about is called our segment comparison report. This was a standard Campus Labs report that we've made available to any Idea Education campuses. And when we built this report, the goal of it was to allow a faculty member to compare themselves to segments like their department, their college, or institution-wide. Now, this can be particularly helpful for any custom questions that you've added, where maybe everyone in the biology department has shared a set of questions, and then the faculty member can compare themselves against their faculty members in their area and see how did they perform on that question versus the group that they are their courses assigned to. The faculty member, this report is a little bit more graphical than the quantitative report, where it shows the question, the mean for that particular question. I can drill open and see a frequency distribution. And then if I add on a segment, if I have a segment to compare to, up here at the top, you have an option of adding on to the college, department, etc. So that's an additional report that you get, especially useful for the custom questions that you may add on to the IDEA forms. Okay. Now, these reports are always available on the web. You can always go back and look at previous terms. They're never removed from the faculty member's view. And they can always come back here and see a copy of it, print it right from the website, share it with others on campus, or it'll always just be saved right for them, right at their fingertips. Now, from an administrator's perspective, like a dean or a department chair or other staff on campus that needs to review the results, we have a few different views for them. They can come in and look at the faculty reports, which is the same sort of views that I was just showing you for each individual course. They have a report called the Question Mean Analysis, which is a standard Campus Labs report that we give access to all IDEA campuses. And then also we have a report called the Unit Summary Report, which is the new upgraded version of the Group Summary Report. So we'll start with the Faculty Reports option. Faculty Reports allows for an administrator, like a dean or chair, to come in and see each faculty member that they have access to based on their permission level. And these permissions are custom set up by you as an administrator to give access to a particular department, college, or area that you have on campus. Then as an administrator, that person can log in and see a few different views of the data. They can see a course reports option. They can see a summary reports option. And the difference between the course reports and the summary reports is that the course reports will allow someone to drill in and see individual results for that particular instructor for that one course section. So I can go into this ABR course and see the exact same IDEA diagnostic report view that I would have seen if I was the faculty member in that course. I then can also look at what we call our summary report, which allows for an administrator to see a summary of all the courses that that particular faculty member taught. In this particular example, the faculty member taught 2 courses, one of which didn't receive any responses. And then I can see a summary of basically the quantitative view, so the frequency distribution, raw means and standard deviations for every single course for every single question. And this would include any of the custom questions on college, department, etc. So those are two really great ways for an administrator to review the data for each of the appropriate faculty members in their area. Then I have access to, and let me flip back here to the unit summary reports. Let me pop into that. And this is what was called the group summary report. And what we've done is we've upgraded this for the Campus Labs website. And we've included 5 different pages of what was traditionally a 9-page IDEA report. You request this from IDEA, and this could be available to you as an option with your contract, where administrators can come in and see frequency information for each one of the learning objectives. They also can come in and see relevant objective information, so for each question or each of the learning objectives, the number of classes that selected that objective, what the average is, as well as what the IDEA average is, so they can compare them, or you can compare your group against IDEA. We also give access to distribution of converted scores. So for each one of those categories that are seen on the summary page of the faculty report, what's the distribution of the converted scores? What's the average converted score, and what's the average of all the courses in your particular grouping, department or college, as well as comparisons against IDEA. And then we even have some information about self-ratings, so those student questions and course questions, what the average is of your college or department, as well as being able to see how many classes were, percentage of classes above or below a 4 or a 3. And then we're working on one final page that we'll have ready later this summer that would give information on the teaching methods. So a lot of really great new exciting reports that you could have available to you within your contract, in addition to the faculty member views that you would get by logging in as an administrator. And then the third report that you have access to is called the question mean analysis. And this was a standard Campus Labs report that we've made available to IDEA campuses that would give for each question that was asked on the diagnostic form or the short form, what the average is for the raw average of all the courses that are in your permission level, how many courses did really well in that question and really poor, and then the ability to drill in on those particular items to see more information. I also can filter this report, so if I'm a dean of arts and sciences and they have a bunch of departments that I have access to, I can actually drill into that and say, give me everything in one particular department or one particular program. Okay, so now I'm going to flip real quick back to the PowerPoint and let's discuss the next steps. All right. So we've partnered with IDEA Education to make sure that we're helping you as much as possible in learning how to use the online system, as well as getting faculty that are maybe not be acquainted with IDEA's system comfortable with what the faculty information form is, what the forms are, and how they can get assistance in improving their courses. So we both, Campus Labs and IDEA, will consult with you on either the technical side, which is the Campus Labs part, or IDEA in the form side. We'll help with training, support for administrators and faculty, or anyone who has a question or issue with the website. They can contact us via phone or email, and we even have some chat functions in our help site that someone could directly speak with someone here at Campus Labs. We would offer introduction for faculty on the faculty information form, the reports, and how they're going to be using the system. And then, of course, there's multiple documentation and training available, both at the Campus Labs website as well as IDEA's website. It's a very low-cost technology implementation. We are a hosted platform, so there's nothing your IT staff would have to do to install this on a server. We integrate directly with your campus authentication for all of you users to log in with the same credentials that they're already using to log into other systems on campus. And we would work with the right department for getting the course and the roster information into our system so that we can display the right information to the right users. And then from an implementation standpoint, we'll do a call with you to discuss the next steps. We'll work with the right department on campus to integrate any data into the system. We'll help you enter any customization of your questions in and work on putting in your mailings and what those mailings should say to your students and faculty. We'll do a few short training sessions to get you comfortable with the system, and then you'll be able to create your first administration and be off and running. So it's typically a very short process for learning how to use this online software. We try to make it as easy as possible for our campuses, but we're here to work with you for as much time as you need, and we really consider ourselves partners with you in this process. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I've left my information here on the screen. And you can also contact your contact person at IDEA if you have questions about any of the IDEA-specific features. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this session today, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks.